is an announcement that you've probably seen if you've been to any of these, that there is a giveaway for the attendees, and you can go on the comments and write who you are, where you're from, and who invited you, and also go to the link and fill that out sometime during the presentation. So anyway, the goal of this class is for you to be able to learn a few things about essential oils. And for those of you who are new, we're going to quickly go through some of those basics of essential oils. So first of all, three things really basics that it's important to know when we're using the oils. And first, that they're natural and they're safe. And they're safe for babies, they're safe for kids, they're safe for the elderly. They're very potent. They're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. They're also incredibly powerful for the things they can do for our body. And they're CPTG, which means Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And that's important because it means there's no contaminants or fillers, and that they come from a part of the world where usually they're indigenous to, so they have the best chemistry for us. And peppermint oil, that's a great oil. Because of this unique chemistry of the oils, it makes them possible to do a number of things. So peppermint isn't just one of those cooling oils. It also does things like helps our tummies when they're upset, fever, headaches, respiratory help. And you find that with all the oils. The second thing is they're very effective, and they work on a cellular level, and you can see the little cell there. And the things that attack our bodies are bacteria and virus. And as you can see, bacteria attaches to the outside of the cell, and viruses can get through the oily cell membrane that usually protects it, but the viruses are so tiny they can get inside of there, and what they do is reproduce themselves until that cell will eventually burst open, and all those little tiny cells will go attach to more cells, and that's why we're having so much trouble right now with this current virus issue. So when we go to a doctor, when we get ill from one of these, a doctor usually gives us an antibiotic if it's a bacterial infection, but if it's a viral infection, he basically sends us home when we're on our own. And having the essential oils doesn't leave us high and dry, just trying to get through it. We actually have a way to get those cells impacted, and because of this chemistry, the oils can go through that membrane and actually do something about that virus. And they can either help it to write the DNA, or they can help it have apoptosis, which would be the death of the cell so that it can't spread. So the third thing is that they're very affordable. And usually when we treat things that are going on in our home with essential oils, it's often just pennies to do so, no more than a couple dollars, which is a lot different from visiting our doctor and having our copays. And even if you have a wonderful healthcare plan and there's no copays, it's going to cost you more to drive to the doctor and to the pharmacist than it is to treat your symptoms with oils. Also, lavender is a great example too of an oil that does many things. It's very calming, it can help you relax, it can help with your sleep, it helps with stress, with burns and wounds. So those are the three things that it's important to know. And then we're going to go on to how we use oils. And the first one is aromatically. And aromatically is important, especially today, because talking about mental health issues, this is key to actually being able to change some of the chemistry that's going on in our brain. of all the things we can do with oils, Aromatically is going to make the biggest difference for us if we're having challenges with mental health issues. And normally when I teach this class, people they'll get into the class because they're expecting that I'm going to talk about mental illness and ways to fix that. But you know, with the experience that I've had going through the years, what I've come to learn is that there is no fix for mental illness. And I don't mean to sound negative. It's just what we have. It's imbalances in the brain. But with good habits, with the oils, it's going to be much better living with it. And you know, so you know, right up front, I have my own mental health issues. And some of that stew of things that's going on are PTSD and sometimes depression. And my husband would say I have OCD. I like to call it CDO because it really should be alphabetized. But anyway, Aromatically is going to make a huge difference in our mental health issues. And it gives us hope of being able to make a compromise with those mental health issues that we have. Couple of oils here. Wild orange that was my first oil that I fell in love with. Love wild orange. Breathe is another one I use every day. I've had respiratory issues since I was a child, so it's awesome. And then topically, we use essential oils topically to tackle those things that are bothering us on the surface part of our body. And it might be things that are going on with the skin. It may be muscle problems that we're feeling. And lots of times we want to use fractionated coconut oil, especially for children. And what we say is dilute with fractionated coconut oil. And it's not that it's diluted in its effect. It's actually going to absorb more slowly into the body, into the bloodstream. And deep blue, that's another oil. We actually use the deep blue rub around here, and we have the extra giant size. Comes in a really big pump bottle. And it's great for muscles and joints, digestion, for the stomach, both great oils. And then internally, doTERRA is the only essential oil company that I would actually take their oils internally. They were meant to be taken internally, and they can be basically treated like food. There's on the oil bottle, I don't know if you can see this, there's a supplement label on here, so you know that the ones that have that label are the ones that you can use internally. Lemon is a great one to put in your water. It's so cleansing for the lymphatic system, pushes out toxins. Frankincense is basically just good for everything. It's good for all the systems of the body. And when you take it internally, it can be in your water. Use glass bottle or a stainless steel one, or you can put it in a veggie capsule. You can put it under your tongue. Some of them don't taste very good, but you kind of get used to it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead to the brain. So the brain is a complex part of our body, and it's not always easy to understand what's going on there. It's not an exact science when we're talking about mental health issues. It's not like excuse me, we're having a pain in our side and doctor can reason out what's going on. In a lot of ways, mental health is a lot of guesswork, even for doctors. And they try one thing or they try another, and it makes it hard. I think it makes it hard socially too, because when somebody has a physical ailment, people feel bad for you, and they you know, they're sorry that you or a loved one has that. But when they have a mental health challenge, people don't know what to do with that. I think it's a lot harder, and that's why it's really important to actually be around other people that you can talk with about it. So, excuse me. So a definition of mental health is it's basically learning how to deal um, with what's going on inside of you. It says mental health means having good ways to deal with your feelings and knowing how to enjoy life even when things are hard. And that's basically, I mean, what we try to do. And that's the healthy part of it. And it doesn't, you know, I like the cartoon there because it's not always pretty. It isn't always done exactly how you would like it, but we're all works in progress. Ever since I've been in doTERRA, I've seen this lifestyle pyramid, and it's really a good guideline when we're talking about ourselves or we're talking to someone new about our health, and even using essential oils. So I'm going to use this as the basis as we go through and we talk about mental health. The first one is eating right and nutrition. And I know, you know, it's easy to tune out and think, I've heard about this so often. There's a reason why it's the biggest block down there. It has so much impact on our health and our mental health. Really, if we're going to work on our mental health, if we're going to work on any issues we're having, we have to set that foundation. And looking at our nutritional habits, that's a fabulous place to start. And when we do that, when we are getting the nutrition we need, then I'm going to go on to the next one. Our bodies know what to do with the oils. The oils can go in there and they don't have to leapfrog over our lack of vitamin C or vitamin D or vitamin B. They can go in and do their jobs, and they can work so much better if we have that foundation. The Lifeline Vitality Pack is amazing. It really gives our bodies everything that it needs. It provides those macronutrients, those whole food vitamin minerals, our omega-3 fatty acids, and it just helps our body to work at peak performance. It's a habit you have to get into too. I mean, there are days too that I get busy and forget, but I always know when I haven't taken my supplements, and I always miss them. Have you ever heard someone talk about the second brain? A lot of us in doTERRA talk about this a lot because we're talking about our gut health. Exciting subject, isn't it? So in the stomach, there's a network of like millions, probably 100 millions of neurons. And scientists have actually named the gut our second brain. Now the second brain, it doesn't write poetry, it doesn't solve math equations, but it's important because the second brain has all of these neurotransmitters, and it causes the nervous system, the nervous feeling we get in the pit of our stomach when we're having some kind of response to outside stimuli that makes us a little bit stressed. So inside the digestive system, this nervous system communicates with bacteria, and that's the second part of our gut, is the bacteria. And just as there are literally millions of cells in our body, there's that many bacteria that are in our gut too. And they do things like digest our food, that's pretty obvious. But they also help, you know, our good bacteria can help us find unfriendly outsiders, viruses, to make sure to provide a healthy atmosphere there. So products to support the gut, two of my favorites are Terrazyme, which basically breaks down your food so it's easily metabolized, and your body can use it, breaks down proteins that are sitting there. And then the PB Assist is both a pre and a probiotic. It breaks down twice as it makes its way through to the gut. And most probiotics out there actually break down long before they make it to the gut. Usually they break down in the small intestines. So both wonderful products. Both of them are, again, setting that foundation for good health. And because we're talking about neurotransmitters there, we want to make sure that our gut is healthy. We want to make sure that that serotonin is present in our brain. So another key thing in setting our foundation. So another cartoon here. One of the other things I wanted to talk about here is a mental detox. So as I was thinking about detoxing the body, I also thought about detoxing the brain and how we can do that. And if you think about our lives, there are so many crazy things going on. And right now, there's a lot of things going on. We're home more, but it also gives us more time to worry and think about all the possible things that can happen as a result of what's going on. So when we talk about detox, it's not really a scientific term. I don't even know who originally came up with that. There's detoxification, but when we say detox, everybody knows what that means these days. Normally that would be a physiological thing that's done. So like your liver and your kidneys, they process and filter out contaminants. It's basically part of the cleansing process. And I mean, those organs do a big job, thank goodness. There's also environmental detoxing. So things like lightning or rain, snow, all of those basically detox our environment and cleanse it. And so taking that to our brain, so what are some ways or some thoughts about detoxing our brain? There's one thing that comes to mind, and that's kind of the scripts that are in our brain, the things that we're always telling ourselves. And it makes me think of like when the pioneers came and they were in the wagons and they had those heavy loads and those big wheels, and they made ruts in the ground, and then others followed them and the ruts got deeper. And that's kind of what happens in our brain. We get in a rut about things that have happened. We've written a script for it, and we always seem to fall back into that rut again. So we want to figure out something. Excuse me. I'm gonna pop in a lozenge here. We want to think about ways that we can change that. Change the scripts that go through our mind. So some of the things that came to mind are just, I remember hearing something a long time ago that if you wanted to reset the body, then quickly drink a glass of ice water, really, really cold water. And it's kind of a shock and makes the brain or the body system stop for a minute and reset. So that might be something we could try. But I think one of the best things for actually getting in there and putting a stop to some of the stuff going in our brain, those messages that keep coming to us, is you're going to love this because it's the next one, is exercise. And it doesn't have to be fierce exercise. I think even just a 10-minute walk to get we're physically getting out of our home. So we can also physically get out of our head for a while, and things like walking your dog. I have a family member who struggles with depression, and we talk a lot and visit, and I'm always checking in. Excuse me. And she recently, when I went to talk to her, and we Zoom like this, and she had a little black kitten with her. And she was like a different person. This has been really hard being closed in for somebody like that. And people that are having those kind of depressive feelings tend to isolate and just kind of wind down further and further. So getting a kitten was just great for her because it took her out of herself. It changed her routine. It got her out of her rut and took her to a different focus. And then just one other thing I wanted to say on that is that a science side of it, the frontal lobe of our brain is responsible for thoughts and emotions. And when it's not moving in those areas, when it's down, it's not being activated like it needs to be. So when we are walking, that activates that. And I mean, our whole body is impacted by taking a walk. We're pulling ourselves up, we're activating that, as opposed to when we don't do anything, we stay down, we're in front of our computers. First of all, what happens is that, you know, we're just slumped. So it's important to get out and activate that frontal lobe. Let's see, I have notes here, so I don't forget and get off course. So, let's see, where am I? Okay. I'm going to try going ahead. Okay, there we are. So I looked up some things too, some ideas on things that help us to change our focus besides what I was thinking of. So first of all, well, this kind of goes with it. First of all, it's just do something. So it's like I talked, it's just get up and do something, change your environment. So you take on a different track. They also said that hugging, having that physical connection with someone else is really good for detoxing the brain. You know, it's taking us again out of the voices we're hearing, and we're connecting with another person. Focus on what we can control. This is a big one for a lot of people, that they just go on and on in their brain about all the possibilities, the things that happened in the past, what's going to happen in the future, and they just replay it over and over. The fear, the worry, all of that just gets just spewed into our brain over and over again. So thinking about actually what we can do, and one of the things that helps is just to take a breath and think about, what can I do right here, right now, to make some kind of difference, and working on that thing. Another part of focusing on what we can do is thinking about forgiving. Forgiveness, the inability to forgive really holds us back from our potential and keeps us locked into those bad habits in our mental health. So considering, and I mean, forgiving is also about forgiving yourself. In fact, that's probably the biggest one, but that's something to think about. Journaling, actually taking a paper and pen. Sorry.
Oh goodness, did we lose Gayle? I heard her cough and now I don't see her screen or anything, which is okay. But it does mean we might just need to hang out for a second and wait for her to reconnect. I know sometimes the internet there can go in and out. Gayle, you're back. We can see you, but I can't hear you yet.
And now can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Perfect.
Okay, where did you lose me?
You'd gotten done talking about hugs, and you were moving into the next, you just started introducing the next thing you were talking about after that.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on.
It's good. You started to cough just a little bit, and then it was like your internet cut out. So
yeah, I'm getting a message that my internet is not happy. Let me see if I can get back into my sharing my screen.
Okay, you can also try turning your video window off and just screen sharing, and then that might take less of your internet bandwidth too.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. Oh, we can see your slides. They're coming up.
Okay. I'll have to find, oh, good, it went back there. Okay, hopefully you can hear me again. So we were talking about focus on the things we can control. That's usually a problem for a lot of us. We tend to either stay in the past, replaying the video of what we didn't do and should have, or we're in the future where there's fear and there's all those possibilities of what could go wrong, and that's back into the rut again. So take a deep breath slowly and think about what aspect of your life you can control and focus on that. What can you do in the here and now? And then let's go to journaling. Journaling is interesting. It's something that I've kind of fought all my life. And as I was growing up and things weren't very good at my house, I never wanted to write it down. The whole thing about growing up in that kind of atmosphere, and I was an only child too, was that nobody could find out what it was like. You always had to protect that. So I kind of got this thing about writing that I would never write in a journal, because what if somebody actually saw that? And I'm trying to get past that. Again, we're all a work in progress. But in studying about this, and I've known about it for a while, but actually taking a paper and pen and writing something, it does something different in your brain. It's just a focal point for us. And what you're doing is you're getting the things inside of you out of you and onto the paper. I mean, if you need to burn it later, that's fine. But it's that act of actually doing it and taking it away from you that's really helpful for detoxing the brain. And if you do keep it, it can be helpful to look back on things you've written and see that you made it through tough times before, so you can still do that again. And the next one is breathing. This is like critical. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you're stressed and anxious, your breathing gets more and more shallow. And I especially have to be careful because I have respiratory issues. So breathing, when you breathe shallowly, you're not oxygenating your body, and your brain isn't getting what it needs. So I try throughout the day to get to a point where I take 5 deep cleansing breaths. And they're not the kind that come up in just the chest. It's those ones that come from your belly. So you breathe through your belly. And and scientifically, it's been shown that this can stave off panic attacks too. So if somebody can just have enough wherewithal to go somewhere, take some deep cleansing breaths and feel their body relax, that can be really helpful. The environment that we're in today, the sitting is like the old smoking. So when we're sitting, it has the same kind of impact on our bodies. So we sit often for 8 to 12 hours a day, and in sitting, I talked about our diaphragms compress, so we can't breathe as well. Our shoulders depress, our neck depresses, and the frontal lobe is not up and active. So no wonder what people are getting depressed. And it's that action again of breathing. When you breathe, you straighten up. So remember your breathing. Oh, I want to go back for a second. So I was going to talk about 3 oils that I think are really helpful. Just ones that I like. Arise is amazing. It's one of the yoga oils. And if you look at the science behind Arise, it's really about calming on the one hand, but energizing on the other. So it does those 2 things where it can calm you down, but not calm you so that you're lethargic. It calms you so that you're energized to move on. Forgive is an awesome. Now, if you smell all of those emotional aromatic oils, probably, at least for me, the one I smelled that I didn't care for necessarily was Forgive. And yet it has grown on me, and it's just so important. And I talked about that really we have to forgive. We have to let go of the negative stuff, or we can't let positive things in. And positive things are the changes we need to make. So Forgive is an awesome oil. And then vetiver. This was another oil that the first time I smelled it, I thought it smelled like dirt. But it's an interesting oil. It's in a lot of perfumes. It gives them the smell, a depth to it. It comes from Haiti, and it's this plant that has these big, long, tangled roots, and they grow downward. So it's very, very much adheres to the ground. So you can guess it has a very grounding effect. And the people who live there are very resilient because they've had to be, and they're like these roots. They're just deep and they're resilient. Um, and vetiver is something that can be very helpful for us to ground us to the earth. You know, putting it on the bottoms of your feet. The other thing is that when you take a bottle of vetiver and you turn it upside down, and you are going to use it, it doesn't come out right away. And a lot of people, that bothers a lot of people. And but I think that's part of its purpose, is to slow things down, let us take those breaths, wait for that oil to come out, and then we can put it on there and get the effects of that vetiver. So those are three. They're probably, smell-wise, they probably would not all of those are going to be really happy oils for people, but I think you have to use them to really appreciate them. Okay, the next one is exercise and movement. We talked about that a little bit. It's one of the foundations of a healthy lifespan. We get up and exercise, we're going to impact that frontal lobe, which is important in our brain. So Deep Blue Rub is a great product for that before and after. Breathe or peppermint's going to open the airways. You know, I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but again, that's the next level up. After we get our nutritional foundation, we want to have that exercise. The next one is rest and manage stress. So these are possibly, sleep especially is possibly one of the most ignored factors of overall health. I mean, we're hearing more about it these days, and everybody talks about stress. And it's funny because stress is almost worn as a badge of honor. Like, I'm really busy, I'm really stressed. But both of these things can really influence what our health is like. So sleep deficiency has been directly linked to dysfunction in nearly every system of your body, and most definitely your mental health. Stress, finding ways to minimize the stress in our lives is really important. There's some products there. Again, those emotional oils are fabulous. The adaptive, a lot of people have responded so well to the adaptive products. And Rosie talked about emotional issues in her class last week. So that's a good one to go back and watch again. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I did, oh, I thought it was here somewhere. I think I have some slides in here that actually break down oil, so we'll see. So let's go ahead on and go to reduce toxic load. So toxic load refers to the substances that accumulate in our body, that the overall volume and the burden it places on our body systems and basically on our vital organs. So toxins come from all kinds of sources, and most notably from the things we breathe in, the things that we eat, and the things that are on our skin. So with those passageways, we want to make sure all those passageways are cleared too. And we talked about the importance of the supplements and what they can do for helping us with our toxic load, is just being healthy, getting those systems communicating well, laying down that foundation of good health, and then using products that don't have the synthetic chemicals in there. doTERRA makes a lot of great On Guard products. Gotta love the On Guard products. They're just the best. I mean, it started with an oil and now we have all kinds of wonderful stuff. Love the toothpaste. There's personal care products. So all of those are going to help us with our health. And, you know, so much of that toxicity, it goes to our brain. We have toxic relationships, toxic feelings, and when we, even the knowledge that we're trying to do something better for ourselves, it gives our brain those signals that they need to release the toxic things that we've been holding on to. So it's all good. And then there's informed self-care. So that's a move towards taking responsibility for your own health. The best ways that we can do that is to, the best ways are to, I think the very best way is just to settle on habits that work for you. And a couple of things. First of all, one of the things we learn right off the bat with using essential oils is that we're all made differently. Everybody's chemistry is different. So I may love vetiver and somebody else that they don't care for it. It doesn't do anything for them. It's why there's so many solutions for sleep, because everybody's chemistry is different. So when we set up habits, all of us approach life and the way we do things differently. So it's setting up habits that work for you, not somebody else's habits, but habits that work. Like I have a lot of trouble with sleep and going to sleep. So getting up at 5 in the morning and going jogging is not going to work for me, but someone else, that may work perfectly. And then, you know, so setting up good habits, having a purpose, a reason to do things. And I think a lot of people are struggling right now because they've lost their purpose. So having things to do, even in the midst of having to be in your home all the time. And then setting up regimens for using your oils and your supplements. And I think that's another thing that happens is people will grab the oils when they're hurting, when something's going on. But it's like taking your supplements. When you take them every day, you feel the results of that. And when you use your oils and you use them preventatively instead of always symptom-wise, you get that benefit too. So I think it's deciding what we need and then have a regimen set up, put them where we know we'll use them. So, and then the last one is just a daily use of natural products, replacing some of those things. And I know you may just absolutely love your hair, hairspray or your lotion that smells fabulous, but look at the ingredients on it and see if that's really something you want in your body. And there again, doTERRA makes some fabulous products and they smell wonderful. So there's another area we can look at. These are some oils that I wrote down for informed self-care. I'm not going to go through all of those since we're low on time and I got kicked off for a while. But if you have a doTERRA, not a doTERRA, but an essential oil book, you can look up any of these and find out some things that'll work for you. And these are just some that I thought of, some that have worked for me. And I try to put a couple of those, like petitgrain. I don't hear a lot about petitgrain, but it's awesome for calming. Another group of oils is uplifting oils. Those are pretty easy to find. You open a bottle of a citrus oil and you're immediately feeling better. Love the citrus. And now we have all these wonderful blends of oils too. I left the N off of elevation. So anyway, those emotional oils are so good. I think I've got one more here. This is for mental clarity and then to focus and concentrate. And again, we have blends for that. In Tune is amazing. Aromatouch, oh my heavens. Does anybody else? I mean, basil just really speaks to me. I smell basil and it's like, where is that? I've got to be closer to it. So rosemary, I mean, those Italian oils are just really, really awesome. So just some more ideas here on if your challenge is being able to get that clarity. My brain seems to run all over the place sometimes, so I need something that brings me back to focus on the task at hand. Okay, the last one is proactive medical care. And we don't often talk about this, but I wanted to, because when you're talking about mental health, a lot of people have real issues. And I don't ever want to act like I have all the answers for that. I think it's important that you have a relationship with somebody in the medical profession that you can trust and that you can feel like they listen to you. So I think that's important. And then just lastly, if you are having real issues and you just are winding and it's not good, seek out medical help. I mean, I like I told you, I have a lot of people in my life that have these kind of challenges, and more than one of them is also on medications for it. So you don't have to choose one or the other. They can work in tandem. In fact, that's what the whole doTERRA thing is about, is that natural and medical can work together for the betterment of the person. So, okay, I hope that was helpful to you. And we're just going to go on here. Those of you who are new, or even those who have been doing doTERRA for a while, to write down if anything occurred to you as I was talking, write those down. If you have any top health concerns, write those down. And then the person who invited you would be glad to talk to you and talk about possible solutions. And those of you who are in doTERRA and would like to talk more personally, you can always reach out to me about mental health. Oops, backwards. Okay. So when we're looking for solutions, there's two approaches. I mean, this is a good segue into the medical profession, because often they tend to focus on the symptoms. Okay, we go in because something's going wrong, and they focus on the symptom rather than what is the root cause. And then we have the potential, when we have these products as our home toolbox for our health, we're actually looking at prevention and getting to the root cause of what's going on, which is amazing. Really, I have 8 kids, and I really wish I would have had these tools when my kids were growing up. Now I get to use them for my grandkids, but boy, would have saved a lot of time and money. Okay, one more time, we're going to talk about the giveaway. So if you haven't gone on and written something in the comments, and then also you need to click on that link and fill that out so you can get one of the giveaways here. So to purchase the oils, there's 3 ways to purchase. One is retail, which you don't want to do. That's expensive, and usually you only buy that if you're like at a spa or something and you're just paying outright. And really, we don't like anybody that is using oils to have to pay that way. Second way is wholesale. And that's the best way. It's simply a $35 fee to get a wholesale account, and that's good for a year, and everything they sell is 25% off. It's better than Costco. It's like having a Costco card, but it's better. And then third is you can buy wholesale and then get free products, and that's what all of us do. There's a program you can learn about, and again, the person who invited you can tell you all about that, but it's fun. You earn those points, you can use them just like money. Okay, so the best way, the smartest way to get enrolled with doTERRA is to get an enrollment kit, and I'm just going to highlight a few of those that I think are really awesome, especially when we're talking about mental health. And first is the Natural Solutions Kit. I mean, we talked about all the ways that toxins can get in our body, and this just covers the whole thing. You get that foundational supplements. You get those On Guard preventative products, the ones that you can clean your house with, brush your teeth with. You get all these great, fabulous oils. And these are the bigger, the 15 ml bottles. So a lot of the oils that I talked about today are going to be in here. And then those personal products too. We have the Essential Kit, and that's the newest kit. And it's basically some of the most popular oils in the 15 ml bottles, and you get a diffuser. Diffusing is really important with mental health. So we talked about Aromatically, what that does for you. So it's going to be so nice to have a diffuser to use your oils with. Oops, backwards again. And then there's the Healthy Start Kit. Again, those top oils. It's the smaller bottles of the oils here, but the same thing. Can give you a chance to try those. And then I love this kit, Healthy Habits Kit. And again, this is like your ground floor foundation kit. It's lovely. You get those supplements. I can't tell you how much I love the supplements and how much they have helped me. I had a hit and run car accident a few years ago, and these things just saved my life. So I always talk about them when I can. So you have all of those, the Deep Blue Rub, you know, some of those oils. It's a great place to start. And we talked about these products for mental health. Like if I were just getting in, I'd probably do the Healthy Habits, and then I would add one of these on. The adaptive products are people it's changed their lives. So and again, Rosie talked about those last week, both of these products. There's also an immune system kit that you can buy. You would still have to pay your $35 membership fee, but it has some of those great immune support products and those preventative products. So that's a good choice too. And then, because this is a Diamond Club event, you have an opportunity to get some free oils. If you do a 100 PV enrollment kit, you can get at least 100 PV. You can get the Citrus Bliss, lovely oil. And if you do a 300 or more enrollment, you get not only the Citrus Bliss, but the adaptive for free. And I'm just going to go here. It talks about a little bit about what those oils do. Citrus Bliss is a blend of all these oils. It smells like a, I don't know, do they still make creamsicles these days? When I was a kid, you could get like a vanilla ice cream popsicle with orange on it. That's how it smells to me. And then adaptive, I told you, it's changing people, changing what is going on in their head, changing their mood, making them able to deal with some of the things they haven't been able to deal well with in the past. So both of those are fabulous. So there's 3 types of people when they hear one of us speak or a presentation. And the first is somebody who it really clicks with them and they want to use these products for their family. And doTERRA can meet that need by offering free education. And that's what we do, just like we're doing today, is teach about using essential oils. And then there's the second person who, you know, as I've been talking or they hear a presentation, their mind is just going off on, oh, I know somebody who could use that for this, and my sister should be here, and my mom has that, and they could use that. So that's somebody who likes to share. And when you do that, doTERRA wants to pay you for that. So important to talk to the person who invited you about that, and also about this reason why you would get into doTERRA, and that's you like everything that you've seen, and you want to do the same thing. You want to talk to people. You want to teach about things that will change people's lives, and you want to earn an income or just even supplement your income. So if you're interested in the second or third option, please reach out to the person who sent you to this class today, and they will answer all your questions. And also, if you stay on when this is over, there will be some other instruction about those also. So keep that in mind. I'm sure Rosie's going to talk about that. Ordering is easy. It's like I've kept saying, get back to the person who talked to you. They can talk to you and excuse me, talk to you about the needs that you have and how to best meet them. And these are some of the steps after you have enrolled. Your oils arrive, somebody will come and talk to you about them. You get other classes that you'll learn more about. There's Oil Camp, there's Facebook. Oh my goodness, it's a community. So anyway, I enjoyed talking with you today, and I hope it was helpful. I hope there was something that you took away that you could use, but thank you very much.